Was that what was most exciting to you about the fact that it was open source, which meant that the source code was available, that you could tweak with it, and through that understanding better how it worked?
Yes, probably back then it was the case. Like I cannot say that I saw the whole community aspect of it. Like many people with many different backgrounds contributing to it. Some of them are on volunteer time and stuff like that. I don't think I saw that aspect of it. Now, probably I value that aspect of open source more than just code being available. But it wasn't visible to me back then.
Do you remember when you also started to learn about the community aspect of open source, that it's not just code randomly appearing on the internet, but that these communities are, as you say, some people are volunteers, some people are working in those communities as part of their jobs. So there are a lot of people from all around the world to work on these projects.
Yeah, so back then, probably GitHub was out there, and I must have seen some projects on GitHub and some discussions and pull requests and whatnot. But probably the actual understanding of the community aspect started with Chapel, the project that I'm working on right now. So coincidentally, I started working on Chapel towards the end of my undergrad. So I've been with this community for a long time now. And that's when I understand, there were mailing lists back then, and sometimes there was GitHub discussion or GitHub issues rather. So I was able to see and make sense of how the development actually works. So probably that's the period where I get to understand, okay, this is not just about giving the code freely. It's more than that. It's just creating a community to develop a piece of software, essentially.
Getting involved in these open source communities is not a straightforward thing. And I think Chapel was your first project where you got involved. There was a My Open Source Experience podcast episode where we had Michael Dexter on the podcast, and he described this 5 stages of how people get involved most often in open source projects. So the first step is being a silent user. So like, I think what you described with GCC probably belongs to this category, that you like used the code, tweaked around with it, but you didn't really interact with the community. And then the second step is asking questions from the community, and then reporting a bug is a third step. And then the fourth step is when you do more contributions and become a contributor. And in his list, the fifth step is when you become a conference speaker and somewhat become an ambassador for the project that you're involved in as well. Do these 5 steps resonate with your journey with Chapel?
It resonates extremely well with me. I was for a very long time in that silent user category, which I would call a lurker even. Like I was reading all the GitHub issues, pull requests, trying to make sense out of them and things like that. But I don't think I had a single interaction, either like a comment under a GitHub issue or something like that, for years with the Chapel community. So I definitely, I'm sure there are many people out there who are like me or who are like what I was like years ago. So I definitely understand the challenge. Looking back at those days, I say I wish I was more active, but I don't blame myself for it. It's difficult to make that initial step. So those steps, I think, resonates perfectly with me. I think I completed my journey with the Chapel project in that journey. Like I'm at the final step right now. But yeah, I've been through all these steps. Some of them shorter periods of time, some of them longer periods of time.